Okay, so this is a little extra video. I'm just gonna read real quick what I wrote. You get from it whatever you get. That's all I'm saying. So this might be like 2 seconds, 2 minutes, not 2 seconds. Anyway, this is what I put. Am I really paying attention to everything going on around me? Things to do for God, people in need. I say I want God to use me, but are my eyes, not these eyes, but your spiritual eyes, are they really open to what He wants to use me for? And I put, I need God to pour into me so I can pour into others. I need to be the right one for others. A lot of people, I think it was probably just mostly Pastor Stephen that I'm thinking of right now. He did a series like on, I won't say marriage, but whatever. We'll just say marriage. And he said you need to be the right one. You don't need to look for the right one, but you need to be the right one. Well, I think that goes for every relationship, that you need to be the right one. You don't need to be looking at them to be the right one for you. I still, unfortunately, I still look to others for what God's job is. Others cannot handle it, as they were not created for that purpose. And it brought me back to something a while ago. Somebody in a higher up position, I'm not going to name names or whatever, or there was a person that was a higher position, and I needed that person to help me, and I was going to that person, what can you do for me? Not like that. I wasn't saying it like that. I wasn't trying to use this person, nothing like that. I knew this person, we were friends, whatever. And I felt like this person could help me, and I felt like God said go to this person, so that's why I went to this person. But in that, and the person did help me, but in that, it was like, God said to me, it's not just what you can get out of them, what can you do for them? You know what I'm saying? Like, what could you do for this person? How can you help this person? How can you be an encouragement for this person? And this person actually was going through some stuff. It's hard for me sometimes, but this person was truly going through some stuff, and I was there as an encouragement, I believe, to them. I was praying for them. I told them I was praying for them. I gave them like a one-liner I felt like God gave me, of a way of saying thank you, for what they were doing, and I hope, in that I needed that person to help me, but I hope that I was an encouragement to that person in some way, that God used me for them, because sometimes we'll look at people, and this is what God showed me, look at people that are up here at a certain level, and it's like, well, what can they do for me? It's all about what can they do for me. Well, what about can you do for them? And I've always taught about no one is better than anyone else, whether you're the president or you're the police person cleaning the bathroom stall, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not. So, and the president, knowing that who he is in today's world, like, he probably doesn't think that, but even I truly believe that person that cleans the bathroom stall could speak into his life. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he could do numerous stuff for them, but they could do stuff for him, and it's not all about money. It's not all about position. It's not all about power, it's about spiritually, physically that person might be dying. Excuse me, we're all dying physically, that was stupid. Spiritually, that person might be dying, but what can we do spiritually, as God's light, as God's warriors, as God's, as God's people on the earth? Like, what can we do for that person? Just because they're in high power here on the earth, that doesn't mean anything, it does, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving respect, for their level of power, but, you can still, no matter what your position is, based upon someone else's position, you can always be a help, always be an encouragement. You don't even know what you could do for them, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I kind of went off a little bit, I didn't mean to, but in all that God told me, this is what I saw in my head as a picture. And if you've ever watched old movies, like before we had fire trucks and fire departments, like old, like Little House on the Prairie days, I think of like if their barn was on fire, I'm sorry, this is just the picture I had in my head, like an assembly line, how each person, was there, and they would pass the bucket, one person would get the water in the bucket and they would pass it and then dump it on the fire, and that's what I saw in my head, that's what we need to be. I didn't look for the person in front of me to give to me, because the fire's the fire's this way, you know what I'm saying? So I'm passing my bucket this way and the fire's that way. The point is we're trying to put out the fire, you know? So I'm not looking to the person in front of me to pass me something. I'm looking to the person behind me to pass me something, to pass on to the person in front of me, to eventually get down to the line to put that fire out. And that's just the picture in my head that God gave me. And I said, stop looking to others for what they were not created for, and go and stay and wait for God. He is the only one that is created for this purpose. And that is what God has been showing me, you know, and I had to apologize to someone because I put them in a position that I should have never put them in. And I've done that to a lot of people, you know, and I'm not saying you can't go and talk to somebody, but I know for myself, like, I need God in each and every move that I make. Okay, I was thinking of a song, sorry, went off. I need God to tell me everything, like literally like I do, because Mary screws everything up so much, you know, like I have to have God to show me each and every move that I make, you know. So when I went to this person, I even specifically knew not to go to this person because God told me to go to him, and I still went to this person because I got that fastness in me. It's like, God, I need you to tell me right now, like Mary can't wait 5 seconds, 5 minutes for you to speak to her, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna read it again. Stop looking to others for what they were not created for, and go and stay and wait for God. He's the only one that is created for this purpose. And Pastor Stephen's message, sometimes I want to hurt Pastor Stephen, not in a bad way, not like that, but it's because he's so good and God uses him so much to speak into my life, you know, and his words just like resonate in my head like all week long. And the thing from the last week's sermon, he talked about anxiety, and the thing that is sticking out to me is you're giving too much weight to the wrong things. I mean, like, it just keeps replaying in my head. You're giving too much weight to the wrong things. And you could look at that in so many different ways. And for me, I was giving too much weight to this person because I love this person dearly, you know, and they're spiritual, you know, and they're led by God. So I go to them, you know, but God never told me to go to them to get the answer I needed, you know. If God wanted to use that person, he would have had that person call me. He would have had that person text me. But instead, I chose to take it upon myself with my fastness, not waiting, you know, on God. Not want to wait, you know, 5 minutes for him to speak to me, or use someone to speak to me, or use a song, or bring a scripture into my head, whatever. I went to that person and I put that person in a position that I should have never did. You know, and I apologized to them because I was like, you know what, I was wrong. And I know they may not understand it, but I know that I did what I felt God led me to do, to apologize to them for putting them in a position that I should have never put them in. And yeah, so don't give too much weight to the wrong things, because I put too much weight on a person, you know, because I've seen their walk and I've seen their connection with God, you know. And if I don't have it from God like that, it's like, oh, okay, here's this person over here, they have this connection with God, go to them. No, chick, you're supposed to wait for yourself. Don't give too much weight to the wrong things. What? Awesome. If I would just listen. Anyways, that's the little bit extra tidbit that I got, that God's been speaking to me this week. I hope it blesses y'all. Have a great, fabulous day. Bye-bye.